Just checking that it's there. That story was absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much for that. No, it was. I could have been that man. So I've been there and back, thank you. My story is called Top of the Pops. And it started around 1966. And I was at home, a young boy with my parents. And every Thursday night there would be this program where these kind of skinny oafs would be on, and there'd be people dancing in and out of time, and it would be quite amusing. And for some reason, when I first started to watch it, I had an affinity with the music and the lyrics that people were singing. There seemed to be a connection there. I wasn't quite sure at the time what that was all going to be about. And my parents would, my mum in particular, would call me over to the television and say, "Look, Christopher, look, it's Frank Ifield. Or, look, it's The Bachelors." And I was supposed to be impressed, you know, so I would sit there and go, "Brilliant, you know, great." But then there was this magical moment that happened every week where these girls would come out in and they were called Pants People, and they would dance, and at this stage my father would have an embarrassing look on his face and not sort of look to the side of the TV rather than look at the TV in case my mum caught him looking. And that was the first time when I kind of picked up what a sort of glimmer of sexuality and what that was all about, I suppose. I mean, I'd seen it on Benny Hill and a bit on Morecambe and Wise, but there was nothing quite as glamorous as all these women prancing around to Mark Bolan songs. But my mum would then say, rather than come and stand by the TV, she would say to me, "Go to your room." And I don't really, you know, she would sort of, I would not be allowed to watch that part of the show. And I thought, well, what's going on there? You know, I don't understand that bit. And then it would be, Christopher, it's Dean Martin. Or come running downstairs and I'd just have to sit in front of some old geezer in a pullover singing some dull song. All I wanted to see was all these girls in leotards. So as the years went by, I gradually worked out this mechanism of having my bedroom door just open a little bit, propping up a mirror on the other side of the staircase so I could see the Pants People part of the show. And I used to write poems and lyrics and stuff at that point, and I was trying to put two and two together and figure out a way that you know, I could write songs and maybe be on Top of the Pops sort of on the stage. And then when I was about 14, my careers teacher said to me, you know, "What job do you want to be looking for?" And I said, "Well, I'm not really sure. You know, I don't really care. I don't give a toss really. I don't really want a job, you know." And he said, "Well, what about accountancy or, you know, solicitor's clerk?" I said, "Well, no, I don't think I'll fancy that." But I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But there was something on TV every Thursday night that was drawing me in. Pants People. So my English teacher at that time was off ill, and a younger guy came in to step in for him. And he noticed these lyrics that or these poems that I was writing, and he said, "Have you heard of Bob Dylan?" And I said, "I hadn't." So he brought it, next week he brought a Bob Dylan album in, and he played me that, and then I sort of put two and two together, that lyrics and music could go together, and that would be something. And then from that minute onwards, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I was so single-minded, you know, that I went out and started buying records and getting into fashion and all sorts of things, and you know, my parents couldn't communicate with me anymore, but Top of the Pops was still a really important part of my life. Every Thursday I was getting older and I was allowed to watch it now, so I didn't have to go upstairs and masturbate. I could do it in front of my mum and dad. So So then I read The Melody Maker one day, and there was an interview with Pete Townsend there, and he said, you know, the best job in the world is to be in a rock and roll band. You get women, drugs, private jets, fast cars. You get to go on top of the pops and stuff like that. And I went, that's the job for me. So the careers teacher said to me the next term, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be in The Who. I want to be in a rock and roll band. And he said, no, there's no chance of that. So I left school, I left my parents, I was quite young, and I was just determined to do that thing, you know, which is that focus. And you know, that's exactly what I wanted to do. And luckily it happened. I got onto Top of the Pops. And the only unfortunate thing about it was, just to see if I've got a strap here. Where is it? The only unfortunate thing about it is that when we went on that week, Pound's people were off ill. So you know, it was really great, you know, to be picked up in a Rolls Royce from a council estate in South London and be taken to Top of the Pops. It was just genius, you know, and everybody thought somebody had died in the family. And there was just me in the back sort of gagging to meet all these women. Anyway, the following time we went back, we did sort of this song I'm going to play now, and I met them for the first time. I went out of my way to go, there's all these hallways that connect in the dressing rooms at the BBC, and I made a really big deal about finding their room, and I just stood outside and I sniffed the door. It was just brilliant, you know. Babs came out and marry me. And they walked straight past me and went to talk to Simon Le Bon. So I've never liked him. But where are they now? I hope none of them are in this room. So I mean, that's my Top of the Pops story. I guess I'm quite sad that Top of the Pops still isn't around, because I could now be that old bloke in a pullover that my mum liked. This is the song that we did. I've come across the desert to greet you with a smile. My camel looks so tired, it's hardly worth my while. Tell you my travels across the golden east. I see your preparations in my Memphis to feast. Take me, I'm yours, because dreams are made of this. Forever there'll be a heaven in your ears. The music melody dances distract me from a wine. Across the red mountains and memories of mine. I spent some ghostly moments with natives in the hills, recorded here on paper. My chills and feels and spills. Take me, I'm yours, because dreams are made of this. Forever there'll be a heaven in your ears. Now there's a guitar solo here, but you can imagine them all coming out in their leotards dancing. And me sort of eyeing them up and down like my dad used to. Like I'm not interested.